Hi, in this session we will discuss again about cyclic groups. We had already discussed this in this previous part, so we will consider more properties of cyclic groups. So what's a cyclic group? A group G is said to be cyclic if there is an element A with the property that every element of G can be written as a power of A. Okay, for example, we already discussed this group. We consider the group 1 minus 1 I minus I. So when you consider this group, we found that each and every element of this set can be written as a power of I, because I raised to 1 was I square was minus 1. Similarly, I cube is equal to minus I, and I raised to 4 was 1. Again, if you take I raised to 5, again you will get this as I, and so on and so forth. So basically each and every element of this group can be written as a power of I. So I will say that this group is generated by I, and this is the symbol of that. So we will generally say that G is, this is how we give notation to that. We will generally say G is generated by this A. So this is the meaning of cyclic groups. Some common cyclic groups are our natural numbers, sorry, not natural numbers, our integers, because each and every element is generated by either 1 or minus 1. Because if I take 2, I can write 2 as 1 square, because in the set of integers under addition, okay, what do you mean by 1 square? It is nothing but 1 plus 1. Okay, what is 3? It is simply 1 cube. That means it is 1 plus 1 plus 1. And what is minus 2? It is again minus 1, or simply 1 raised to minus 2. That is again a power of this form. So it is actually minus 1 plus minus 1, where minus 1 is the inverse of 1 in this case. So even positive integers and also negative integers can be represented by positive powers as well as negative powers of 1. So Z is a cyclic group. Okay, some other common cycles. So this is a very famous infinite cyclic group here. So other common cyclic groups are our Zn. Okay, Zn under addition modulo n. So what is Zn? So our Z4 is basically the remainders when a number is divided by 4, that is 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and the operation here is addition modulo 4. Okay, how do you define the operation here? Here 1 plus 2 is actually 3, and what is 2 plus 3? In this operation 2 plus 3 you will get as actually 5. So the remainder when you when you divide by 4, it is actually 1. So 2 plus 3 is 1. Okay, so similarly 3 plus 3 in this group, it is actually 3 plus 3 is 6. So when you divide by 4, you will get the remainder as 2. So this is how the operation is defined here. Here 0 is the identity. Now this is also a cyclic group, because you can see that if you take 1 plus 1, I will get as 2 again. If I take 1 cube, that is 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is again 3. If I take 1 raised to 4, what will I get? That is again 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, which is again 4. When divided by 4, you will get the remainder as 0. Okay, so this group is actually generated by 1. Okay, also 3 will also generate. So there can be many generators in the same group. So let us consider. So 3 is also a generator of Z4. How? Because 3 raised to 1 is nothing but 3. What is 3 square? It is nothing but 3 plus 3, which is 6, which is actually in this group it is 2. What is 3 cube? It is 3 plus 3 plus 3, which is 9. In this group it is 9 divided by 4, and the remainder is actually 1. Okay, what is 3 raised to 4 again? It is 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, that is actually 12, which is actually 0 in this group. So I am getting everyone in terms of the powers of 3. So this group is also generated by 3. So in a cyclic group, it is not necessary that only one element will be generated. There can be many other elements also, but every element will not be a generator, because if you consider the element 2 here, what will I get? If I take 2 raised to 1, it is 2 in this group. If I take 2 square, it is 2 plus 2 in this group, which is 4, which is again 0. Again, if I take 2 cube, what will I get? Again it will be 2 plus 2 plus 2. Already 2 plus 2 is 0. So it again take 6. And when you take the remainder, you will get it as again 2, and it will continue like that. You will only get 2's and 0's. So every element is not generated. So 2 is not a generator. Naturally 0 also will not be a generator. So every element need not be a generator, but there can be many generators in a group, just like 1 and 3. Okay, so this was the basics of cyclic groups. So I hope you understand what is a cyclic group now, and I hope you understand what is meant by symbol this. Okay, now already we have discussed another concept called order. What was an order? Order is nothing but the number of elements in a group. So the number of elements in a group is called its order. Okay, so in an infinite group, the order is obviously infinite. Okay, so in a finite group, it will be actually the number of elements in a group. So let us consider the concept of cyclic groups and order. Okay, so concept of cyclic groups and order in this. Okay, so generally I will not denote the symbol order by this symbol, just like modulus. I'll write order of G as simply modulus of G. Okay, so now we are considering cyclic groups. So let us consider the group this again, 1 I minus 1. So this was our foundation. So let us consider this group. So I am going to take the generator. What's the generator here? Here the generator is I. So what is I raised to 1? I raised to 1 is I. What is I square? It is minus 1. What is I cube? It is again minus I. I raised to 4 is equal to 1. I raised to 5 is equal to, again, I am repeating the process again and again. Okay, so here you can see that I raised to 1, I square, I cube, I raised to 4 is all different. So when I took I raised to 4, I again obtained the identity. So when I take more and more powers, I will be repeating the same pattern over and over again. Okay, so this is very important. So we are going to give another characterization. So suppose a group G is cyclic and it is generated by A. Okay, so what's the number of elements in, what was the number of elements in this group? The number of elements in this group was 4. Okay, so also I got another property that I raised to 4 was actually equal to 1. So I was a generator, and when I took I raised to 4, I got the answer as 1. So I am going to give another characterization of cyclic groups. Here in a cyclic group, actually the order of the cyclic group is nothing but the smallest integer n such that a raised to n is equal to e. That is, just as in this case I got I raised to 4 is equal to 1. Okay, here the generator was I and the identity was 1. Okay, so looking at that, we are going to establish that if your group is being generated by an element A, okay, if it is generated by an element A, okay, what I am going to say, the order of that group is actually the number n, where n is the positive integer, smallest n is the smallest positive integer with the property that, what's the property? A raised to n is equal to e, where A is the generator of that group and also E is the identity. We are going to establish that. Okay, so this is true in the case of finite groups. So infinite groups we can't find that such an n. So this is the case of finite cyclic groups. I can always find such an n. Okay, so why I am taking the smallest positive integer here? Because if I take I raised to 8, that is actually I raised to 4 the whole square. So I raised to 4 is identity 1. So we will get it as 1 square. So there will be many numbers with the same property that I raised to n will be equal to here. Of that I am going to take the smallest such number, and we are going to establish the fact that this is in fact the order of the group. Okay, so now we have got two characterizations of order. Let us state it once again. What are they? So the first one is actually order is nothing but the number of elements in the group. Number of elements in the group. Okay, so that is one characterization of order. And second one is, how do you define? Suppose G is generated by some A. Suppose G is cyclic and it is finite. Okay, so what's the order of G? I'm telling you. So it is the smallest integer n with the property where smallest positive integer. I'm taking the positive integer because always A raised to 0 is E. So I'm going to take the smallest positive integer with the property that A raised to n is equal to E. So this is the second characterization. Okay, so let us first establish that this fact. Okay, so consider a finite group. Okay, so suppose I am considering finite group G which is generated by A. Okay, now I am going to look at the set, this set. I am going to look at set A square, A cube. So here A square means we are taking A star A. I don't know the operation in G. I am taking an arbitrary group. Suppose if it is addition, it will be A plus A. If it is multiplication, it will be A square. If it is addition modulo n, it will be A plus A. So we are going to consider this set. Okay, now tell me, can this set be infinite? Can this set be infinite? It is given that G is a finite group, so all this A square, A cube, etc. will be inside G. So this cannot go on forever. So that means this cannot be finite. This cannot be infinite. So this acts actually a finite group. So what do you mean by that? So that means this pattern should be repetitive somewhere, otherwise it will be. So if all the powers of a are different, I will be getting infinite number of elements, but that is not possible because G is a finite group. Okay, and all the powers of a should actually be lying inside G only, because G is a group, it is closed. Okay, so all these powers of a should lie in a and should lie in G. Moreover, G is a finite group, so most of these powers will be the same only. So we can find integers R or S, positive integers R, such that a raised to R is equal to a raised to S in this sequence, because it cannot, all the elements cannot be different. So maybe a raised to 3 and a raised to 7 are same. So I'm saying we can find integers R and S such that a raised to R is equal to a raised to S, where maybe I am taking S is greater than R. Okay, suppose I'm taking like that. So here 7 was greater than 3. So if you get it like this, what can I say? In the next step, I can multiply by the inverse of R. Here a raised to minus R into a raised to R is equal to a raised to R minus R into a raised to S. This is actually identity is equal to a raised to S minus R. So I am getting that a power of a is actually equal to identity. Okay, so what we have established, now that there are integers n such that a raised, so we have established that there are integers n such that a raised to n is equal to a, because we have got such an integer which is called s minus r. So there can be many integers. For example, in the case of the group 1 minus 1, I minus I, I raised to 4 is equal to e, I raised to 8 is equal to e, I raised to 12 is equal to e. So there are many integers. Okay, so we have established the fact that such integers do exist. Okay, so we have established that there are integers such that a raised to n is equal to e, where n is a positive integer. So we have established the existence of such integers. Okay, now we are going to show that the smallest such thing will actually be the order. Smallest such integer will actually be the order. Smallest such integer will actually be the order. Okay, so how do we establish that? Okay, so for that, okay, so let n be the smallest such integer. Okay, so there can be many integers will be there, so I am choosing the n be the hn, which is the smallest such integer. And again I am going to consider the set a raised square, a cube, etc., a raised to n. Okay, so we are going to consider this set. Now I am claiming that every element of this set I am going to claim that every element of this set is different. I am going to claim that every element of this set is different. So why am I claiming? Suppose two elements of the set are different or same. For example, a square is equal to a cube. For example, just for namesake I am saying, suppose a square is equal to a cube. So what do we mean by that? So if I multiply by a raised to minus 2, it will be a raised to minus 2 into a square, which is equal to a raised to minus 2 into a cube. That means identity is equal to a. Okay, so what does this mean? This means that actually we have got a smaller power. So here it was actually 1. So smaller power than n, which actually gives a power n is equal to, or a power k is equal to e. So is that possible? It is not possible, because we have chosen n to be the smallest integer, positive integer, with the property that a raised to n is equal to e. So how do you write it rigorously? So if I write, if you may smooth this argument better, a little more subtly. So how will you write this argument? So we are claiming that each of these elements are different. So suppose it is not so the case. Suppose then we can find integers r, s which are less than n, and which has the property that a raised to r is equal to a raised to s, just like this thing here. So suppose we can find integers r, s, and I am taking r is less than s. Okay, so with the property that they are less than n, and they have the property that a raised to r is equal to a raised to s. So what will happen in this case? So when you multiply by, or when you operate by the inverse of r, which is a raised to minus r, what will I get? This is equal to a raised to minus r into a raised to s. This is actually identity is equal to a raised to s minus r. Okay, so what do you mean by multiplication? Multiplication means nothing but your a square is actually a star a. Already we have discussed this convention in the previous video. Okay, so we have got that a raised to s minus r is equal to e. But what can I say about s minus r? S minus r is actually a positive integer, because r is less than s, and also since r and s are less than n, definitely s minus r is less than n. Okay, so now you have got that s minus r is positive and s minus r is less than n, and also you have got that a raised to s minus r is equal to e. Now is this possible? It is not possible because you have chosen n to be the smallest integer for which a raised to n is equal to e. So it cannot be possible for smaller numbers than n. So that means that all these numbers a square, a cube, etc. a raised to n are different. Okay, so we have got this. We are considering the group G. We know the order of that G is some element. Okay, so we have got that the smallest. So we are considering set a square, a cube, etc. And we have got that all these elements are entirely different. And what is the property of this n? This property of n is that it is the smallest integer with the property that a raised to n is equal to e. Smallest positive integer with the property that a raised to n is equal to e. Okay, now we have got till this much. So now we have got that actually the order of G's anyway will be, we have got this will be great. We have not got that order of G is equal to n. From this argument we have got that all these elements are different. So G contains all these elements, and it can also contain, maybe it can contain other elements also. So that means order of G is greater than or equal to n. We have established that order of G cannot be less than n. How have we established that? Because we have got that all these elements are different and all these elements will be there in G because G is a group. So that means order of G cannot be less than n. So it will be anyway greater than or equal to n. Okay. Now, how can you prove that it is equal to n? So you take any integer. So you take any positive integer is a k element of z plus. Okay. Now you divide this k by n. Try to divide this k by n. So you will be getting a quotient will be there. Okay, and when you do operations, you will get some remainder, some operations, something like this, you will get the remainder. So according to division algorithm, so what is the division algorithm? We have studied this in your lower classes. What is the division algorithm? So if you divide 5 by 2, I will get the quotient as 2. So you will get this as 4 and remainder as 1. So 5 can be written as 2 into 2 plus 1. So this is the meaning of division algorithm. Okay, so I can write this k as n into q, the divisor into quotient plus remainder. And what is the property of remainder? Remainder can be any number which is between which is less than, so 0 less than or equal to r less than q. So remainder will be strictly less than q. So this is the property of remainder. So I can write this as this in this case. Okay, so if I take any positive integer, this k can be written as some power of some multiple of n plus r. So if I consider a raised to k, what will I get? I will get this as a raised to nq plus r. Okay, I hope it is clear because a k is now nq plus r. So it is actually a raised to nq plus r. This is actually a raised to nq into a raised to r because of powers, exponents. So this is actually a raised to n, the whole raised to q into a raised to r. But what is a raised to n? It is nothing but identity element. So this is e raised to q into a raised to r. So e power anything is same as e. This is equal to a raised to r. So I have now got it as a raised to k is same as a raised to r. So what is the property of r? R is actually less than n and it can lie from anywhere from 0 to n. So what have you got it now? That means actually a raised to r is lying somewhere here. It is already in this set because a raised to r is nothing but it is lying between 0 and n. Okay, so what do you mean by a raised to 0? A raised to 0 is identity and that is same as equal to a raised to n only. Okay, so anyway a raised to r will be lying in this set because if it is r is equal to 1, it will be a. If r is equal to a square, so if I take any positive integer k, I will get that a raised to k, which is actually equal to a raised to r, is actually we have already written in this list. Okay, so that means already it is there in this list. Okay, so that means now we have got the group G which is generated by a set A. So that means every element is of the power a raised to k or a raised to n, but already that a raised to k has come in this set only. That means every element of G has already been written in this, enumerated in this set. So that means order of G cannot be more than n because it's already been, every element has already been, so every element is a power of a and every power of a is already written in this set because of the division algorithm. That means order of G is actually equal to n. Okay, so I hope it is clear. So once more we'll run through it. How? So first of all, what was the steps we have done in this case? So what steps we have done here? So first of all, we established that there are integers with the property that a raised to n is equal to e. We are considering a cyclic group which is generated by a and which is finite. So we have established that already there are integers with the property that a raised to n is equal to, there are positive integers with the property that a raised to n is equal to e. So how did we establish that? First we consider this set a square, a cube, etc. And we found that this cannot go on infinitely because G has only finite number of elements. G is a group, so all the powers of A should lie in G. So this elements cannot be different. So that means A raised to R will be A raised to S for some R comma S where S is greater than R. So from that I have got that A raised to S minus R is equal to E. Okay, so this is an integer. So we have established that there are integers with this property. Okay, so out of those integers I am going to take the smallest such integer. Out of those integers I am going to take the smallest such integer. Out of those integers we are going to take the smallest such integer n, and we are going to claim that this order of this group is actually equal to n. So how do we claim that? We are going to consider the set a square, etc. we are going to consider the set a square, etc. a raised to n. Okay, now we are going to claim that all of these elements are entirely different. So how could we prove that? So we are taking the suppose. What will happen if two elements are equals? What will happen if some a raised to r is equal to a raised to s? So where r and s are between 1 and n. So can this happen? If that happens, what will be the case? That means if then a raised to s minus r will be e. But if you take r is less than s, that means we have got a positive integer which is less than n and which has the property that a raised to s minus r is equal to a. That is not possible because we have chosen n to be the small such integer with the property that a raised to n is equal to e. So we have got that such. We have now obtained that all these elements are entirely different. So since all these elements should lie in G, definitely order of G will be anyway greater or equal to n. Now how do you establish that this is equal to n it only? Because now you know that every element of G, if I take every element of G is actually some power of A. Okay, so if I get any integer k, I can divide it by n. Okay, so when I divide, what will I get? I will get the quotient as q and remainder as some r, and this r has the property that it is lying between, it will be 0 less than or equal to r less than n. So that means this k can be written as nq plus r. Okay, now what will this a raised to k become now? Now this a raised to k is actually, what will this a raised to k become now? The a raised to k is actually a raised to nq plus r, that is actually a raised to r. We have established this before. Now this a raised to r is actually number which is less than n, so it will be lying somewhere in this set. So already we have written a raised to r, enumerated a raised to r in this set itself. So a raised to r will be lying in this set. That actually means that our a raised to k, which now equals a raised to r, is already enumerated in this set. So each and every element of G is actually present in this set, and this set contains n elements. Therefore order of G is equal to n. Okay, so order of a finite cyclic group is nothing but the smallest integer n such with the property that a raised to n is equal to e, where a is the generator of G. So this was the result which we have established here. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Okay, again, so coming back again, in the set 1 minus I minus 1, in this set we have already got that I raised to 4 is equal to e. There are also other integers with this property. I raised to 8 is equal to e, I raised to 12 is equal to e. So we have shown that 4 is actually the order because it is the smallest such positive integer with that property. Okay, so next result we are going to this. Suppose order of, so suppose the setting is like this. Suppose a element of G is there, order of A is actually equal to n. Okay, so before that we have to tell what is the order of an element. Okay, so analogous to this result, there is also a concept called order of an element. Now we have discussed order of a group. So order of a group, how is the order of a group? It is actually equal to the number of elements in that group, and also in a cyclic group, order of a group is actually equal to the smallest integer n with the property that a raised to n is equal to e. Okay, now consider this set. Okay, in this set, if I take minus 1, what is, so here also we are going to introduce the concept of order of an element here. Okay, so when I consider minus 1, minus 1 raised to 1 is 1, minus 1 raised to 2 is actually 1, again minus 1 raised to 1 is minus 1, minus 1 square is 1, minus 1 cube is actually minus 1, and again this pattern will continue like this. Minus 1 raised to 4 is equal to 1. Okay, similarly order of 1 is 1 raised to 1 is equal to 1, 1 square is again 1, like it will go. So order of an element is actually the smallest integer with the property that minus 1 raised to n is equal. So already I have used n, so I'm just writing minus 1 raised to m is equal to e, or the smallest. So order of an element b is the smallest integer m, positive integer m with the property that b raised to m is equal to e. Okay, so order of a group is actually the smallest positive integer of the generator. In that case it is actually the smallest positive integer of the generator. Okay, smallest positive power of the generator with that property. But for an element it is actually basically the smallest positive integer with the property that b raised to m is equal to e. Okay, so in this cyclic group the order is actually 4 because I raised to 4 is equal to 1, but the order of 1 is simply 1. Order of minus 1, as I have shown, it is simply 2. Order of I, already we know it is 4. If you take minus I also you will get as 4. So order of the various elements will be entirely different, but the order of a cyclic group is actually the order of the generator. Okay, so I hope it is clear what do we mean by order of an element and also a group. Order of an element, so you have to clear what is an order of an element and also order of a group. Okay, so why we are discussing this order of an element is that, so if you consider this group 1 minus 1 I minus I, so already we have known that the order of minus 1 is actually 2 because minus 1 raised to 1 is minus 1, minus 1 square is actually 1. So consider this set 1 minus 1. So this set is actually, if I take again minus 1 cube, I will again it as minus 1. So this set is actually the elements generated by minus 1 by taking the powers of minus 1. Now you can see that this is, you can prove that this is actually a subgroup. Okay, because every element identity is there and it is closed. If you take powers, it will be closed, it will be associative. The inverse of minus 1 is minus 1 itself. So actually if you have an element b of a group, the set generated by this b, that is I'm going to take the powers of b raised to k. So the set generated by the powers of b is actually will be a subgroup of G. Okay, so if you take a generator, that will actually be the original group, but if it is not a generator, you will still be getting a subgroup of G. Okay, so this order of an element will actually be the number of elements of that subgroup. So that is why we are talking about order of an element. You are actually finding the number of elements of the subgroup generated by that element. Okay, so again, suppose we are going to go for another thing also. Suppose we have a group is there and A is an element. This suppose it is not going to be a cyclic group, it can be anything else. So we are going to take an element A, and suppose order of A is equal to n. Okay, so this is a I'm going to take a group, need not be finite, need not be what you say cyclic. So and suppose I'm taking an element A, suppose order of A. So there's some notation of order of A. I can write this as modulus of A, or also I can write this as order of A. Both are the same notation. So suppose it is equal to some n. Okay, and suppose I have got that A raised to m is equal to E. Okay, A raised to m is equal to E. We claim that this n will divide m. We claim that n divides m. Okay, that's our claim here. So very important result. So we are going to claim that n divides m. Okay, what do we mean by order? Order is the smallest positive integer with the property that A raised to n is equal to E. So it is the smallest positive integer with that property. Okay, so we are going to claim that suppose if A raised to m is equal to, we have for example our I raised to 4 was E, again I raised to 8 is also E. So we are going to claim that 4 divides 8. It is obvious here. So we are generalizing that concept here. So how do we prove that? So you take this m, divide by n, and apply the division algorithm. So what can I get? I'll get a quotient will be there and some remainder will be there. So m can be written as nq plus r, where this r has the property that it is actually less than, strictly less than n. So our A raised to m, which is actually E, can be now written as A raised to nq plus r, which is nothing but A raised to nq into A raised to r. And what is that? A raised to nq is nothing but A raised to n a raised to n the whole power q into a raised to r. So this is actually e because order property. This is actually e raised to q into a raised to r. That is nothing but a raised to r only. Okay. So this is actually equal to a raised to r. So now we have obtained that a raised to r is equal to e, but with the property of r that r is strictly less than n. But is that possible? It is not possible because n is the order of a and n is the smallest such integer with the property that a raised to n is equal to e. Now we have gotten a smaller integer than n with the property that n divides r. With the property that a raised to r is equal to e. So when can that be possible? It will only be possible if r is equal to 0. And no other case it is possible because n is the smallest positive integer with that property. So that means this r should not be there or that r should be 0. That means m is equal to n into q, or m is actually a multiple of n. That means n divides m. Okay, so now what you have got? So if order of an element is n and if you are getting a raised to m is equal to e, that means n divides m. So that's an important result, and we will conclude the section with this result. We'll continue more on the next class. Okay, thank you.